You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 196. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Spencer Valdez.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can find our show and many other cool podcasts like the all-new Anti-Fanboy, Super Podcasto Magnifico, and Ultimate Facepalm at rhymeswithgeek.com. And if you enjoy this show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. So, we are talking about Silver Age Green Lantern. This is part 2 of Showcase Presents Green Lantern Volume 3. And the first book we're going to talk about today is Green Lantern number 42, which is the January of 1966 issue. The story is called The Other Side of the World, written by Gardner Fox, penciled by Gil Kane, and inked by Sid Green. And this is great because Zatanna is a guest star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we start off on the other side of the world, in France, and there is a mysterious gateway in the side of a mountain, and we see a Roman centurion running for the gate. And there's spears flying by him.
Yeah.
And he's being attacked by, it just is a band of warring tribesmen.
Right. This Roman Centurion, for some reason, I just thought, hey, he looks like the son of Vulcan. It's Charlton Comics character. Basically, them doing Thor.
Oh.
But then, of course, when the Charlton Action Heroes got acquired by DC, they have attempted to do things with Son of Vulcan, and it's never really taken off.
Wow.
So, very minor character. But Roy Thomas's first pro working comics was writing an issue or two of Son of Vulcan at Charlton.
Oh.
Right before he got going at Marvel.
Cool.
So, anyway.
Charlton was around a lot longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, they've got going in the 40s, yeah.
I meant they lasted a lot longer than I thought they did.
When did you think they went under?
I thought they went under late 60s, early 70s, but it was like 1987, I think it was.
Well,
when they kind of...
Charlton Comics pretty much, here's the thing, by the mid to late 70s, they were no longer producing new material.
Gotcha.
They were doing all reprints.
Okay.
And then they were really sporadic and inconsistent with their publishing after that, and they basically folded in their own 84 or 5.
Okay, yeah.
But
yeah, I thought.
But for a long time, they had decades of consistent publication and doing a lot of books. So.
Yeah, so I thought it was much earlier, because I mean, even. Sorry, I didn't mean to say even. I don't know why I said even. But Marvel and DC, you have this like long history of them being around. You know?
I think we think of Marvel and DC in those terms because they have these ongoing characters,
right?
You know, from dating back with the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlton, although they had certain, superhero books or recurring character properties, most of them were very short-lived, and the bulk of what they did was like anthology material.
Okay.
So, very standalone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's just a little.
No, it's fine. I'm glad. I'm proud of you for looking something.
I am doing research.
I'm really glad. Because Jeff will do none. He just won't. He'll read the comics, and he and I do a lot of shows together, so it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier that way.
Yeah.
All right, let's head back in with the Roman Centurion, and he's running away from these tribesmen, and he kind of falls into the
fire.
Yeah, this azure blue fire is what they call it.
Docking interlude that just happened there.
And he disappears.
Okay.
Craziness. And then we get a little kind of a backstory into this cave.
First of all, there's this great panel. One of the Gil Kane's signature moves is disembodied heads.
Yeah.
Montages with disembodied heads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really... Steve Ditko is a big influence on Gil Kane. Gil Kane is still one of, like, the gods in comics. But... And he definitely has his own thing that he does. But I noticed there's a lot of influence from Ditko. So.
Right. So we get the kind of story behind this
behind the music. Oh, I mean,
right. Behind this gateway, and for centuries, highwaymen, knaves, knights, and peasants have all been summoned by the eerie azure blue, and they fall into the ruin of Yes.
Yeah, yes. Is that how I was saying it too?
The prog rock band? Yes. No. And in the panel following the floating heads is Zatanna using her backwards magic.
Yeah, she says words backwards, and that's how she does spells.
Right.
She's looking for her father. Mm-hmm. That's like her eternal quest, and it's. I think she was looking for him like throughout the Silver Age.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know when she debuted. I mean, obviously in the Silver Age, but her father, Zatanna, he's basically a copy of Mandrake the Magician, the comic strip by Lee Falk, who also created the Phantom.
Oh, okay.
And Zatanna it's an unapologetic rip off. It's totally a copy.
Okay.
He really is. Especially in look. He's just a stage magician with the top hat. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Zatanna debuted in Action Comics #1, along with another character that I can't put my finger on.
Some Boy Scout.
Something like that. But anyway.
That's pretty big.
What?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
What?
That he appeared in that same book.
Yeah. Have you ever read Action Comics #1?
Just the Superman story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've read a full reprint of... I know, there's lots of reprints of just that story.
Right, yeah.
I've read a full reprint of that issue, and there's multiple stories. I can't remember who else is in it. I think Congo Bill and Slam Bradley might be in it, too. I think I'm wrong. Slam Bradley was a feature in Detective Comics. But anyway, it was an anthology, like multiple characters.
Gotcha.
And in fact, yeah, Superman's on the cover of #1.
Uh-huh.
But he's not on the cover again until like several issues later.
Really?
Yeah, they rotated.
Okay.
Isn't that wild?
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't dig the Superman comic.
Well, and it's like the whole point of, and especially in the Golden Age, was all comic books were like, there was sure a lot of recurring characters, but it was 64 pages with like multiple features, and each story would be like anywhere between, usually around 10 pages, but give or take.
Right.
So you'd have all these features in those books, which is kind of a lot, all in color for a dime. 64 pages of comics.
For a dime.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zatanna's doing her magic, and she's trying to cross the plane of the Azure Blue Fire without losing any of her abilities. Which she's worried about. But as she's doing the magic, the Azure Blue Flame overtakes her, and she's pulled into the world of Yes.
Yeah.
And so we kind of flash sideways to Hal Jordan and Pieface. One thing I noticed, it was a little weird. I mean, it says, thousands of miles away in an airplane hangar of the Ferris Aircraft Company, test pilot Hal, Green Lantern, Jordan, and his good friend Eskimo Grease Monkey Thomas Pieface.
Kalmaku.
Yeah. So
remember,
it says Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, which is his secret identity.
Yeah.
Pieface really isn't his secret identity.
I know, but
maybe
remember,
it's saying, "Oh, this is his nickname. This is what we'll call him."
And they're doing this, and they do that every issue,
right?
Because every issue is somebody's first.
Right. Okay.
And this is 1966, and the collector's market is not there, So comics fandom is happening,
right?
But 1966, other than Pop Hollinger, nobody has a comic shop.
Okay.
Pop Hollinger is somebody you should look up.
Okay.
I'll send you a couple articles.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about him.
But turns out they're going on a fishing trip, and Crazy Carol, runs in,
Carol's
kind
crazy.
of frantically saying, "Hey, Hal, I need your help. The payroll has been stolen or is going to be stolen.
We stole the payroll.
And I need your help to come with me so I can get the money back.
Who even works for her? All you ever see is Pieface and Hal.
There's 3 of them in this giant hangar. You don't see really any other scientists working on the rockets or the planes that Jordan flies.
Yeah.
Maybe Pieface is making them all.
Sure.
Pieface is now making all of the...
They're probably defrauding the government.
Yeah.
Insurance fraud, something.
Wow.
They're getting all this money. 3 people work there. Surely they can't complete the work that they're asked.
No, definitely.
Wow. I don't know if they build planes. I think they just test them.
They do just... They might just test them, yeah. Maybe people bring them in.
Because Ferris Air isn't Boeing. Boeing doesn't have test pilots, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Dang it. Of my theory, the whole... the bottom fell out of it. No, it's okay. I don't know.
Sean's here.
Yeah, Sean Roof, our pal.
Sean. So... Hal is a little confused by this because why is Carol coming to ask him when she could obviously ask Green Lantern, whom she's in love with?
Right.
So he's a little confused, and Hal can't get away to change into Green Lantern to save the day if he's riding along with Carol. And so Pieface jumps right in and says, look, why don't I go with you? Hal's busy, or he's tired from his last flight. We were just about to get out of here. And she's like, fine, Pieface, you come with me. Green Lantern's able to change. He goes after the robbers. It turns out, though, that it's not just like regular like bad guys. It's this giant pirate with a golden cutlass.
I hate pirates. Portland, Oregon is full of people who dress up like pirates, and it's the stupidest thing in the world. Hate them. Okay.
I don't know if I've ever seen pirates just hanging out.
Maybe they should be more open-minded.
No, this whole...
See, Sean is the worst.
Only this time.
Stupid beard.
I've never seen pirates.
But yeah,
they are here.
They are here, dear listeners.
Maybe we're just not looking for them.
Yeah.
And
when you least expect it, you'll see pirates and be like, damn it. So, anyway.
Yeah. So this pirate with a golden cutlass is cutting into the side of the bank, and he's going to steal all this money. The cops are shooting him just kind of recklessly.
Yeah.
And the bullets are just kind of bouncing off. Green Lantern shows up, and the pirate pulls his pistol and fires it at him. And instead of like a single round going, like a single ball round going out,
it's like buckshot, but it's tiny pebbles that turn into big boulders.
Yeah, and
where have we seen this recently?
Dr.
Doom
does that.
using making tiny molecules and making them huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Green Lantern barely gets out of the way. He then transmutes the rock into a rock kind of shovel.
If he can transmute anything, I would just transmute it into a big bucket of pee-pee and splash it in the pirate's face.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all you do?
I'd hit him with something.
Oh, okay.
But don't you think he would surrender if you just got hit with a bucket of pee-pee? Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might fight even harder.
Okay.
I'd be pissed that I'm covered in piss.
Okay.
That's true, too.
I'd be pretty mad.
I'd be like, who's this guy?
Oh,
I gotta teach him a lesson.
So much vinegar.
What?
What is it they say? What is it if you, asparagus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're gonna torture the guy?
This is really gross. Okay, I'm sorry that I did that. It's just the idea just popped into my head. I'm like,
your head?
Just like
kind of like the Wonder Twins. One of them turns into a bucket of water.
Yeah, the Wonder Twins. One is any water form.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. And then one is in the animal form. Okay, that actually is okay.
That was fun.
But
glass of water
into a pail of water, and then one is an eagle and swoops and dumps a bucket of water and you're all wet, Joker.
Right. Yeah.
You foiled my plan by getting me wet.
Dang it. Super lame.
Only invested in waterproof electronics.
It is the 60s, Sean. There's no such thing as waterproof anything.
It's comics. There's always waterproof things.
Yeah. Believe me, if you can have everything that's made up in comics,
That's true.
okay. So, anyway, he's fighting the big pirate.
The rock scooper goes after the pirate. The pirate uses his cutlass and just tears it apart.
I think it's really cool. He cut it. There was a perfectly round rock, and he cuts it totally in half.
Yeah. And then he fires his gun again at the crumbling rocks, and they turn into a giant fist that tries to hit Green Lantern. He just he flies through it, actually, using his power ring. And he's like, well, an old-fashioned guy, I'll use an old-fashioned weapon, and creates a cannon.
See, that's cool.
Fires it at him.
Like a can you see on a pirate ship?
Yeah.
That's right. And then he cuts the cannonball in half.
Cannonball in half. Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking ahead. I thought you were.
And then he Green Lantern creates a
the steering wheel on a ship.
Yeah.
Whatever that's called.
And he throws it at him, and then the pirate jumps on it.
I don't know.
It's all the fighting.
Yeah.
The pirate then throws his cutlass at Green Lantern, but it's golden, and it flies right through. Fly right through anything that Hal does because it's yellow.
Yeah.
But he throws up a shield, and it breaks. The cutlass breaks on the shield.
That's weird. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it does.
Because stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes after the pirate, then runs away, and he goes after him. He's barely able to catch up. And then the pirate shoots his gun again, and it shoots, flowers at him. But then the petals become, really big and metallic and start spinning at him. He then raises a
pirate ship,
right? So this is part
out of the water. Yeah.
He raises a pirate ship out of the water to stop the blades from hitting him. And then they kind of make it back down to Earth, and he's chased them around the world to the other side of the world.
Yay, right.
And the pirate kind of makes a mad dash, more kind of fighting, also monologuing by the pirate.
It's pirate monologuing?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
The pirate kind of explodes.
Yeah, this is
horrific
stuff. I don't know, but was he real? Oh no, was he out of time from the Warlock sent him, right?
I think, the Warlock.
Okay, so he was real.
The Warlock sent him.
How come he was a giant? Did he use magic to make him big?
I don't know.
The Warlock just make him big?
Maybe the Warlock made him big.
Well, he doesn't make people because he had people trapped in time or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe he used his magic to embiggen him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough, Chuck.
Yeah, very good.
But
Spencer can say that because he is an Apache.
I am. It's true. I don't get as big as
Apache Chief.
Barely noticeable, actually.
I do grow.
Yeah.
Just not. Anyway.
We'll ask Heather.
I'm
sorry, that's so bad.
Huh. I don't get it. Can you explain that one?
No, I will not.
You see, when two people love each other very much.
Okay.
But in the midst of the explosion, he is thrown into a vortex of some sort, and outstretched hand reaches to him, and it is Zatanna, and she's
very attractive.
Yeah, beautiful.
No, I love Zatanna. She's great.
Mm.
I really enjoy her.
See?
She is my favorite superheroine.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and Power Girl is probably number 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at the very end of this storyline, they're holding hands and they're being all sweet, and I'm like, she is way better than Carol. Yes, she has this kind of eternal mission to find her father.
Yeah, and spoiler, she does eventually.
Right, but she's way better than Carol.
Mm-hmm.
She's beautiful. She has dark hair. He apparently
She's
likes
not
that.
crazy.
She's not crazy.
Plus, she's a superhero too,
Yeah.
so they've got a lot more in common.
Yes. See,
They'd be in the later when she gets inducted in the Justice League. They're Justice League members together.
right. So there's ample time for them to.
She's only the 3rd gal inducted into the league.
So Wonder Woman,
Black Canary,
and Zatanna.
and so Wonder Woman has the distinction of only being being the only female member of the Justice League in the whole Silver Age.
Wow.
I think that's right because I think Black Canary comes from Earth 1 and stays here. I think it's Bronze Age. I could be mistaken, but I feel like those are all Satellite Era League stories.
You know what I like doing? If we are wrong, let us know.
Yeah.
I like being proven wrong.
No, here's the thing. If I say something that's incorrect, I really hope our listeners come in like, hey, that's not right at all.
Yeah.
And
just be really mean about it.
I don't have to be mean, but it's just like, that is incorrect.
Be
This
forceful.
Yeah.
Sean.
What?
And any criticism of Sean is always welcome.
Yeah.
Sean, you're being a real troll tonight. That's okay, though.
Anyways, we find out that her magic is what helped Green Lantern survive the throwing of the Cutlass.
Yeah, and that she recounts briefly that she's got help from Hawkman and Hawkgirl and the Atom, also in helping her try to find her father, but to no avail.
Right. Yeah, and she kind of gives her story to Green Lantern about how she came to be. Yes.
Yeah.
But we also find out that her magic is starting to fade.
Yeah, in this place where the Warlock rules, who we're about to meet.
Right.
Stuff gets, goofified.
Yeah. This is kind of, we find out that at the beginning of everything, there was a massive explosion, also called the Big Bang. And when our universe was created, a parallel universe was created in which nothing ever died, and nothing ages.
Interesting.
And that's where the Warlock lives.
Right, and the Warlock, he totally looks like a Doctor Strange villain.
Yeah.
Like, in having read, like, some Silver Age Doctor Strange, I know you have, and I've, you and I have, you read that hardcover that I had, the Marvel Masterwork, and then I've read some other ones in addition. He's totally a typical, like, another magician who would challenge Doctor Strange.
Right.
This is that guy. And the costume design is a very Steve Ditko type of design, too. So, again, now, this is happening, like, concurrent with Ditko's Doctor Strange. Think about that. It's 1966. Oh, yeah. I think it was 65 or 66 when Ditko left Marvel. So this is 1966, so yeah. So that's very fresh in comicdom.
Yeah.
So anyway, just context.
Yeah.
Okay.
We find out that the Roman Centurion that fell through the gateway and all the people with the floating heads, they fell through, and that they're all still alive.
Yeah.
And that they're able to eat and provide for themselves because even if they cut down a tree, one pops up to replace it.
Right, and they don't. There's no time, and they don't age.
Right.
There's no chicks though.
Yeah, there are.
Are there?
Yeah, if you look back at the floating heads.
Oh, there were. Okay.
There were some.
Yeah, never mind.
But like I said, we find out that Zatanna's magic is fading, and the Warlock's is getting stronger. Well, maybe not stronger, but like it's staying the same, and so she's not able to fight him as...
Right. Her powers are kind of weakened, and his power is rocking and rolling.
And so we find out that the problem with her magic isn't necessarily that it's not working because she's not saying it right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is that. She's using the backwards magic, but instead of saying the words backwards, she needs to say them in reverse order.
Right.
So, at one point...
Like frontwards and inverse order.
Yes, so she at one point says, finger, lanterns, green, 2 back fly, ring power.
Oh,
so if we read it the other way, power ring, fly back to Green Lantern's finger. Because it flew off his finger. And so she's able to kind of fight back at this point, and there's like this large army of many different kinds of warrior. Looks like there's some Vikings in there, Centurions.
Yeah.
Other guys with mustaches. It looks like a patriot of some point. It might be another pirate. A knight. They're like attacking, and they don't have much defense against them because she's just figuring out how to reuse her magic, but her magic isn't necessarily as strong as the warlocks, and the pack of warriors is kind of breaking through the lines, and then the warriors like, okay, so you've held back my warriors. Now I'm gonna send all the demons and stuff that I have just hanging out with me at you as well. So they have to deal with the warriors and these demons, and it's no good. And then all of a sudden, Green Lantern realizes he's been wearing, like, if her magic is backwards and she has to change the way she says things, maybe switching it up will help him. And he moves his ring from his right hand to his left hand.
Right.
And it works.
It's a revelation.
Yeah. He puts up a wall, and then he realizes he's not going to be able to fight them all.
Uh-huh.
And so he causes the ground underneath them to become saturated with water, and they sink down, and then he re-solidifies it.
Yeah.
And so they're like stuck in the ground, and they're able to get back to the Warlock's castle, and they have him trapped, basically. And he finally says, "Look, Zatanna.
Yeah.
I know where your father went. I know information about your father. I will give it to you if Green Lantern gives me his ring." What? And Green Lantern's like, "Yeah, of course." So not only is she beautiful, not only is she dark-haired like he likes, not crazy like Carol, a superhero.
You're really like trying to sell this, and I never picked up any romantic inklings in the story.
He's putting himself out there for her.
Okay.
He's giving up his power to help her out.
Right, but
And the Warlock's, "Bah, I got your ring." But at one point, like, he gets the information. He gets the ring, and he tells Zatanna that yes, her father was here, and yes, but a while back I was creating this transport device that'll get me out of here and to your world, where my power would be stronger, and I'd be able to rule that Earth, your Earth. But Zatanna was there and stole the transporter thing and took off with it. And that's why he had to get Green Lantern to come, and so he could steal his ring and get back to our Earth so he could rule over the people. But it turns out, while he was kind of monologuing and they were going to give him the ring, Zatanna put like a spell on the ring, and so they didn't really give it to him, or they gave it to him, but it caused him to like freeze in place, and then they just pry it off his finger and leave him stuck in his castle. And then she's like, "Yeah, I gotta go. Sorry, Green Lantern. I gotta find my dad." And he's like, "Hey, I hope so. I hope to see you again. Don't hesitate to call upon me for any help you need.
Right.
And while you continue your search, I'll continue my fight against crime."
Yay!
Yay!
So, fun stuff.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about this next issue?
Yeah. Why don't you give him the credits first?
I was about to. We're talking about Green Lantern number 43, which is the March of 1966 issue, and the story is called "The Catastrophic Crimes of Major Disaster," written by Gardner Fox, penciled by Gil Kane, and inked by Sid Green. Now, this is great because it's another Flash and Green Lantern team up.
Yeah.
The first in 3 years, apparently.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And also it's the debut of Major Disaster.
Yeah.
Now, Jeff and I talked about this issue a year or so ago.
Oh, really?
At least.
I mean, I know that. I listen to the show all the time.
Yeah. I know you've been listening to it now.
I have that.
And I'm so proud of you for stepping it up. But yeah, it's the debut of Major Disaster, who has a cool costume.
Yeah. I like his hood.
Yeah.
I think I like guys with hoods.
Hoods, like that. That is neat.
Like the Spectre has a good hood.
Yeah. The Green Llama. He's a Golden
Llama.
Age hero. Do you know him?
I've heard of him.
I've got something that at least reprints some Green Llama stories. I'll bring it.
Dr. Doom has a good hood.
Yeah.
Green Hornet's car.
What?
Oh, he's being funny.
The hood of the car.
The Black Beauty, yeah.
I hate you so much, Sean.
But yes, hoods are good.
Yeah. I think during a Kevin Smith run on Green Arrow,
He did the hood.
he had a hood. I might be wrong.
I don't know because I didn't really read that run. I know he was perpetually late on that book.
Yes, he was.
Where's like Kevin Smith doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing about, like, you know, I'm always hesitant, like, oh, when they get these celebrity writers, when their main gig isn't doing comics, you're like,
right.
The book's going to be late. Is Brian Posehn still writing Deadpool?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a book I'm picking up anymore.
Yeah, but I was like, watch, it's going to be late. It'll be funny, but it's going to be late.
Yeah. That would be a good book to be picking up during Secret Wars, I think.
You know what? I have to say, before we get really going, I think I'm actually going to start picking up Secret Wars. I'm not going to get any of the tie-ins. I'm not going to get the tie-ins.
Of course.
But I think I'm going to get the main book. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
As event fatigue experience-y as I am, and I'm like, no. There's a weird thing going. DC's got Convergence going right now. It's the 30th anniversary of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
And so that means it's like the 31st anniversary of the original Secret Wars.
Okay.
Okay, now I was a wee lad when those came out. And I feel like this is an okay time for me to, like, this is sort of the anniversary of the original event books that I think are good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? I will read these. I will get these and read these.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do events after this because I hate events.
Yeah.
Generally. I mean, I like reading them in a trade, but I hate the... And I pre-ordered a set of Convergence, so as soon as number 8, I think, comes out, I'm going to get 0 through 8 sent to me. So I'm going to binge it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be a hot mess that I'm like, what the heck? Like Secret Wars is supposed to be. Like, I hear people are saying, like, it is like, what the hell's going on, but it's really good.
Right.
Yeah, so.
One thing I do like that Marvel's done is they've announced that, hey, this book is on hiatus during this. It will come back. Marvel's done that with a few books.
Oh, really?
I
didn't know there was some books.
Secret Wars. DC, on the other hand, has just left it high and dry, and it's bothering me like crazy. I think I went off on this on Sean last week.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it either.
Well, what?
I will not be purchasing the event, but I would like to read it at some point.
Yeah, you're looking at me. Yeah, I'll as soon as I get the issues, I will binge it, and then I will bring it over for you to read.
I will not be spending money on this.
Maybe we'll do a mini-sode about Convergence.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Because we'll just read the 0 through 8 and just do like a 20-minute something.
Yes,
that'd be fun. Good. Normally we don't do current comics on the show, but I think certain things like that could be worth like a mini-sode, like a bonus for the listeners. So
anyway, this issue starts with Hal Jordan being confronted by Carol Ferris about him being Green Lantern. And
he is filled with confusion.
Yeah, she tells him, you need to get changed, you need to power up your power ring, and you need to bring me to the power battery, and you need to power up your ring.
Yeah, she knows the whole deal.
And he's like, what? We actually have that. It's what I assume is happening here.
Yeah, 2 panels of him, like, because she calls him darling.
Right.
And he's like, she called me darling, not Green Lantern, but me, Hal Jordan.
Right.
And then next, he's all confused, delighted and confused, and then she immediately starts saying Green Lantern stuff, and he's like, well, huh?
Yeah.
How you know that, girl?
Yeah.
So.
And then we have Iris West confronting Barry Allen.
Yeah.
And calling him out about his
being the Flash.
Yeah, and being the Flash. His suit in his ring.
I love that. That's one of the craziest, weirdest things, but it's awesome.
And it's a bit of a spoiler, and I'm sorry.
No,
don't do it.
He knows I'm not caught up on the Flash right now.
It's killing me that you're not caught up.
Dude,
It
I
is
will get
such
caught
a
up
great
this
show.
weekend, okay?
Okay.
Jeez, just
And-
save it for later.
Okay.
Can we talk about this comic?
Oh, are you gonna tell him about?
I will kill you both.
Yes, with the suit and the ring, and like he jumps into his suit, and she's like, "Yeah, I know. Now we gotta be in a Pine View City or something like that."
Pineview City.
They're not going to Coast City.
Oh, they're meeting on
Pine
Neutral-
Air City. Sorry.
Pine Air City.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't pick up on that.
And they, she's like, "We gotta be there in like 2 minutes, 100 miles away, and you gotta carry me." And so Barry is carrying Iris, protected by his aura and nestled safely in his arms.
Yeah, it's the Speed Force.
Iris West is taken for a flash ride.
Yeah. Of course, I don't think the Speed Force. I don't think it gets talked about until the Mark Waid run.
Right? Yeah, it's
But the aura makes sense.
Yeah.
But then that other concept is a thing that he created and delved into. I love it.
Yeah.
Speed Force is great. Anyway.
Carol then informs Hal, "Hey, we got a meeting with Iris, and we're going to this restaurant. You got to take me there." And so they all kind of rendezvous at this restaurant in
And the gals are...
It's called the Rendezvous Club.
Okay.
So in Pine Air City.
So when they all get there, the gals are just gabbing and loving it, and Barry and Hal are hating it.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh man."
It's the hand resting, a face resting on the palm, of just like, man, Hal's got a grouchy look on his face.
Yeah,
It's great.
And then they kind of confront each other like, "Hey, what the crap here?
Did you spill the beans? What?
Did you spill the beans?" Yeah.
No beans have been spilled
But
by
then,
us.
they kind of turn and like everyone's like looking at them and like, "Hey, yeah, the Flash and Green Lantern are here."
Yeah.
And then the ladies tell them, "Look, we'll never tell your secrets. Your secret's safe with us." You know, typical. We found out about your secret stuff.
Yeah.
But then a giant earthquake happens, and Flash and Green Lantern jump outside, and there's like a crack in the earth.
Yeah.
There's like a crazy like windstorm happening. There's like a fire. Buildings falling over.
Who could be behind this?
Right.
Behind these disasters.
At one point, Hal sews up the earth
Yeah, he
with a
does.
needle and thread.
Love it. Because whenever earthquakes happen, big fissures open up.
Of course.
Here's the thing. You see that in every movie ever. I have never seen a fissure open up in a real earthquake.
Well, growing up in California, it's something we had to deal with all the time.
Like every day, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We had very big earthquakes, and
Did you see
the
fissures?
the earth would open up and swallow cities whole all the time.
Oh, okay. You're being facetious. Any big fissures? Like, is that a thing?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
Not
I-
really. You have to have
San
a
Andreas
pretty-
Fault is kind of a
You have to have a pretty big earthquake,
yeah.
and it's like has to be the right kind of sort of plate dynamic in order to open up.
I know about plate tectonics a little bit, but yeah. When I was a kid here in Portland, Oregon, we had the spring break quake of it was probably like 92 or 1. And it was awesome. It was only like 4.0, 3 point something. So it shook the house. And we're like, whoa. And it was just cool. And then it was the only thing everyone talked about for like a week.
Right. Recently, it was the 35-year anniversary of St. Helens blowing.
Yeah.
It was like this last Monday or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, where were you when it happened?
I was not alive.
Yeah, my mom was a 8th grader.
Really?
Yeah, do the math.
How old is your mother?
She's pretty young.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, geez. Because my parents were probably married or almost. Because what was it, 1978 or 9? 1980?
1980, yeah.
1980?
1980. You're right, 1980. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, my folks were married for a couple of years. My folks were like 22, so. Your mom was in 8th grade. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm older than you.
You are.
I'm 33.
Much older than me.
How old are you?
Much.
How old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
Oh, okay. I'm 5 years older than you. Okay.
Terrifyingly
You're
old.
still, your mother is pretty young then.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Because my folks were only like 20 or 22 when I was born. So.
Yeah, my mom was about 22.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Anyways, that's enough about our mothers.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah, but in the midst of all this, Green Lantern sees a car.
I do love that Green Lantern
driving
used.
through.
There's a giant butterfly net.
Yeah.
Gotta use that. Anyway, just cause.
Green Lantern notices a car, and like 3 guys in weird suits get out, and they're walking straight to the bank, which was untouched by all of these disasters.
So they caused disasters so they could go into a bank and rob it.
Right.
Interesting.
And so as they're coming out, he creates a big butterfly net and starts to scoop them up, and it bounces around them. He doesn't actually get to like swing at them.
Hey, here's something. If you have a machine, minor spoiler, if you have a machine that creates disasters, and you're just using it to rob banks, that's a little small time.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I would hold countries hostage.
Yeah. Because you'd be a smart supervillain.
Right. And I wouldn't tell anyone my plan.
Here's the thing. Maybe you took out like a serious loan with like messed up interest to build your disaster machine.
Right.
And you really needed to pay that back, so knocking over banks was like just part 1.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Maybe. But I mean, like, if you can hold nations hostage, bank loan, that's nothing.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe major disaster just is a little more practical.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Anyways.
His name is Major Disaster. It's like one of the best, worst puns ever.
Right, yeah.
Well.
And so Green Lantern tries to use like a hook thing to pick up the car.
And I don't think he has a military background.
No?
No, I don't think he's a major of anything.
So he's just a liar.
Yeah, he's a villain, so.
I guess that's true.
So anyway, I kind of talked over you for a second. So go ahead.
Green Lantern tries to pick up the car, and it kind of bounces away again. The construct he creates kind of bounces away again. And then, seeing his struggle, the Flash runs at these guys and gets bounced away and hits a telephone pole or a light pole.
Yeah.
And he's totally dazed. And then Hal Jordan is falling out of the sky. Like
Weird.
his power's being drained or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the Flash can't run. And we don't know how it's going to end until we turn the page.
Right.
And our first panel is Green Lantern and Flash laying defeated on the ground. And then we have this kind of flash sideways to Major Disaster.
His villainous lair of misdoings. Oh no, he's just in the getaway car.
Yeah, he's in the getaway car.
He's just in a car.
Yeah.
That's the imposing supervillain. He's just sitting in a car.
Yeah.
He's driving.
Yeah, he's the driver. He's the getaway driver.
Like, he's not, like, in the back seat, like, snapping his fingers like, go, minion.
Right, yeah. He's the guy in the heist who gets paid the least.
This is...
He's trying to save money because he has to pay back all those loans that he did.
Major Disaster does not know how to delegate. He is not a good villain. He is such an amateur.
He's smart.
We then find out that he's like hired scientists and psychologists
What?
to figure out who the Green Lantern and the Flash are.
Why?
Or like their powers or something. And like he delivered the information to the girls, and they like realized they would never, they would never give up the information. And Hal and Green Lantern kind of get up, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have my powers. Let's not deal with that now. Let's go find our girls and make sure they're all right."
Yeah.
We then have Major Disaster in his lair, yammering on about how great his power is.
Oh, so he's monologuing.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not a major monologue, but
But a monologue it is.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh.
While Green Lantern, the Flash, and the girls are driving through the city, giant meteors start falling at them, but then they're like pushed away like they were with the men dressed in weird spacesuits. And they have to protect these people on the street. They figure it out, But then they drive by and they see the men in the weird spacesuits, and so they jump out of the car and they just start fighting them. They don't have their powers, but they're like, we gotta do something, and so they start fighting them.
Yeah, and they're pretty spry. You know, it's
Yeah.
just cool fisticuffs.
And so
They're not really in spacesuits. But they're weird, henchman costumes.
right, yeah. The girls got out of the car, and Hal's still driving. He rams the car that the henchmen were in.
I don't think Major Disaster is good with his money. He sprung for these henchman costumes, and this is like his first job?
Yeah.
No. Dumb.
And he rams the car that the henchmen were in. But it turns out Major Disaster is again driving. And so he runs over and he just clocks him.
A driver's license?
We don't know that.
Ooh,
But again,
driving without a license.
he is a villain.
He's a very bad person.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Insurance either.
Green Lantern and Flash get back to fighting the henchmen. They take out a few, and Major Disaster's like, "Oh God, my jaw!" And he kind of whistles for his guys, and they hop back in the car and they take off.
Yeah.
And then Green Lantern and Flash are kind of standing over the guys,
The henchman.
the henchmen, and it looks like the Flash looks a little menacing to me. Like, we're gonna get information from these guys.
He is kind of wrapping an open hand over his fist,
Yeah.
as if we're gonna kick the crap out of you some more, and you're gonna tell us what we want to
Uh-huh.
know. I didn't pick up on that on my read through,
No.
but it's an interesting observation.
I thought it was a little menacing, but I mean, I'm sure they didn't do anything.
No,
Because
they
they're
didn't
the heroes,
torture them.
like America.
What? Oh my God. Oh.
So
So I'm in the 90s when Justice League got their expansion teams, basically Justice League Europe, Justice League
right, yeah,
International,
yeah.
Justice League Task Force, Justice League Guantanamo.
it's Uncle Sam and the Shield just hanging out.
The
and torturing
Shield.
Folks.
And they bring in
It was a
Judge Dredd.
crossover.
It's quite a crossover
And they bring
because
in-
you're talking.
Judge Dredd. They bring him.
Wow,
Who is
that's
this guy?
that's quite a crossover.
Right?
Because you're saying Uncle
Totally.
Sam and the Freedom Fighters obviously acquired properties from Quality Comics.
Yeah.
And then the Shield from Archie,
Uh-huh.
who DC did acquire those characters for a time. But first I think they had their own imprint
Okay.
that only lasted like a year, Impact Comics.
Uh-huh.
And then later they tried to sort of integrate them into DC and it didn't work.
Gotcha.
Didn't pan out. The old MLJ, the Golden Age Archie superheroes,
Mhm.
they are cool.
Yeah.
But they've never had a terribly strong revival, which is too bad because they're kind of neat. Anyway,
The smaller groups are getting kind of a revival now. I mean, especially with like Valiant.
yeah. Now
and-
DC, we're on another tangent, but
Yeah.
Archie is reviving those characters again
Cool.
on their. They have their Black Circle imprint,
Uh-huh.
and there's gonna be a chick version of the Shield. There's already a new Black Hood, and the Fox, and Mark Waid's writing
Does
the
he have a
Fox.
hood?
Well, it's more like a ski mask,
Oh.
but I hope they bring back like more obscure Archie superheroes like Mr. Justice, and I think the Hangman's coming too, and those.
Noose around his neck?
Yeah, I think so. And those characters haven't. Those characters have not been revived since the Golden Age.
Wow.
They've laid dormant for a long time. But like they've had the Fly has come back, and
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
not that Fly, and
Oh.
not the Vincent Price one either. Anyway, this is such a tangent. We need to go.
Right. Hal remembers, or Green Lantern remembers, that Pieface keeps a journal of old cases that Green Lantern has
Yeah.
done.
I
And they
wonder
pop
if
it open.
Pieface and Jimmy Olsen ever met.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, Pieface. Here's the start of a great joke. So Snapper Carr, Pieface, and Jimmy Olsen walk into a bar.
And they don't get drunk because they're depressed.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, he pops open a secret compartment in his pie face. Pops open a secret compartment in his desk. The journal pops out, and Green Lantern kind of scans it for. Oh no! Flash takes it, covers it in
Silver nitrate.
and is able to take it to the FBI to see if it gets fingerprinted.
Yeah.
And so they're without powers, and Green Lantern's like, well, it's about time for me to recharge my ring. I might as well do it. While he does it, the Flash gets totally energized, and he's able to
Have Green Lantern powers.
have Green Lantern powers. And so Green Lantern
Flash doesn't have to put the ring on, does he?
No.
That other time, he'd put the ring on.
Yeah, he did.
That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
I love it when other characters can put on the ring and wield it.
Well, it's not like Thor's hammer.
Right.
If you can just pick it up, you can put it on, and if you know how it works, you can make it go.
Right, but I've always felt that when the ring chose Hal Jordan, it was because he had an extraordinary amount of willpower. Not
And a lack of fear and stuff.
Right. Not just a normal, like, human amount of, like,
Right.
I can do it, or, self-confidence.
And as we'll learn later, minor spoiler, the ring wasn't even originally going to choose Hal, but it was supposed to be Guy Gardner.
Right, yeah.
And stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't remember where I was going with this, so just go.
But, I'm pretty sure it's in the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams run, where the Green Arrow is able to fire a arrow from the power ring.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I've read that. I don't remember that. But
I think it's that. It might be a different team up story, but I'm pretty sure it's in that
we'll find out. We're gonna read that book.
Right.
So
anyway, so Green Lantern's like, whoa, you have my power, maybe I have yours, and he's gone. The Flash is like, whoa, Green Lantern, you can do better than that. It took you a whole 5 seconds to run around the Earth, because he does it much faster. But yeah, we find out that there were an extra set of prints on the book. There was Pieface, and then this crook named Paul Booker.
Yeah.
And so they got to kind of figure everything out.
Indeed.
And then we kind of get the story of how. Oh no, not yet. No, we did. Right here.
No.
Paul Booker, who is now Major Disaster, was fleeing from the police. He's just a punk crook. He breaks into this office building, and he kind of stumbles upon the secret compartment in the desk, opens it up, reads through, finds out who Green Lantern and the Flash are.
Yeah.
Because all of that information is in there. He then decides, I'm going to hire some lackeys, scientists, psychologists, and those folk.
Those folk.
You guys stick with me, and there will be no way of stopping us. And that's how he kind of got his henchmen and things like that. But because Green Lantern and Flash have figured out who Paul Booker is, they're able to track him down. There's Major Disaster sends a few more disasters at them. There's lightning. There's a landslide, a tornado. Oh no, Green Lantern creates the tornado using the super speed that is the Flash's power. And he launches the landslide. Oh, there's also like a major flood happening. There's a forest fire.
So disasters are happening.
Yeah.
Hence the name Major Disaster.
Right. But then they kind of solve all the disasters. They're able to switch back their power. I was unclear how they were able to switch back their powers. I don't know if you remember it or not.
I don't. It was just a weird thing that happened, like a vortex or something. In the...
Right. Yeah.
It was strange.
They got their powers back. They go in. They fight. And then Major Disaster's like, oh, I'll get you with my last and final disaster. And he goes to grab the machine, and it kills him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have his special gloves on, his special insulated gloves. And
He was so eager to kill his foes.
Yeah.
Okay, I will tell you a couple things.
Okay.
He doesn't die.
Oh, man.
So he comes back.
Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, this is a recurring villain. And I think somehow the disaster power of the machine gets imbued in his body.
Oh,
so the powers are eternal later.
That's
so he actually has powers.
Yeah.
Because he has a cool costume, but that's about all he's got.
Right.
Give him powers, that's something else.
Yes. So they have to... Apparently everyone in town has lost their memory. Green Lantern restores their memory. Everyone except Iris and
Carol. And he restores their memory except for the knowledge of who Flash and Green Lantern really are.
Right.
Who I can't even remember.
But then, kind of a weird thing here. Hal is talking to Carol, and he's like, well, you were on a date with me, you know, or he was talking about going on a date with him. She's like, you listen here, I only love Green Lanterns. And then he kind of gets a little pushy.
Yeah.
With her.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I've never seen you like this.
So masterful. And I'm like,
whoa.
what the heck?
Carol is insane.
She's totally insane. She's into the whole Christian Grey thing, apparently. So yeah.
Yeah. Our final issue this week.
Yes, that we'll talk about is Green Lantern number 44, which is the April of 1966 issue. In the lead story is called Evil Star's Death Duel Summons. Written by Gardner Fox, penciled by Gil Kane, and inked by Sid Green.
Yep.
And it's the return of Evil Star, who is really cool.
Yeah.
We don't see Starlings in this story.
We don't. He doesn't need them anymore.
But he'll use them in future stories. So weird. Okay, but anyway.
So we have Green Lantern and Pieface, and Green Lantern's about to recharge his ring when Evil Star shows up, but his power battery's not working. And he realizes, oh, the only way that's happening is if Evil Star's back. And so he goes outside.
Wait. First, Pieface is there, and he tells him, hey, why don't you press harder on the thing?
Yeah.
And then, like, hit the power battery. Like,
he, like, shakes it.
This is such a guy thing that we do.
Try
Like,
turning it on and off again.
Have you tried hitting it or pushing harder first? So, try turning it on.
So, Green Lantern runs outside with no power, essentially. And Pie goes through the shaking and the pounding. And he gets it to work somehow. He runs outside. Green Lantern,
through his Inuit magic.
Right. Powers up his ring.
That's not what happened.
There's a fight ensues. He throws a fist with, like, brass knuckles on it at him. At Evil Star. Evil Star fires, like, a blowtorch at him. And then, solving it, Hal punches him in the face.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, but then he kind of, like, disintegrates and, like, challenges him at the same time.
One of the things I love about comic book heroes is they punch you somebody so hard that words describing the impact appear in midair.
Yeah, I wish I could punch someone that hard.
Yeah.
Basically, Evil Star's like, this is just an illusion of me, or, an illusion of me. Come back to Oa and I'll show you what's up.
Cracker.
Yeah. So we find out
Cracker is
that Evil Star's escaped his prison, and he's on Oa still.
I don't know why. Yeah, I guess Oa would be a good place for the prison. Because I was thinking, like, why don't they send them to Quard? Oh, wait, so all the villains can team up and have a coalition of evil?
Yeah.
That's a story I haven't read.
No.
That would be awesome. Like Sinestro and Evil Star and like all and
I don't think they would get along though. I think it would be too much of a power struggle.
Because villain team ups always end up with bickering. However, imagine a coalition of Green Lantern villains. Hector Hammond, Sinestro, Evil Star, Dr. Polaris.
The Shark.
The Shark. all these cats in a team of super villainy.
Yeah, and they all hate Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And it's not like some of the other villains he fights.
And you know what
They
I realized?
hate him.
I realized, like, Star Sapphire is weak because she loves him.
Right.
And none of her stuff ever turns out to be actual crimes.
Right.
It's just she's crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
And if they really truly hated him, they would be able to team up and kill him. Let's be honest.
But see, each one of them would want the glory of having killed Green
That's
Lantern.
true.
Now Hector Hammond, because he doesn't have a body he can do anything with, of course he's got to employ other people as his agents.
Right.
But like, Sinestro and Sonar and Dr. Polaris and all these guys, they would be arguing.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So, Green Lantern flies back to Cord. Turns out the bands that they took from Evil Star were fake, and that he had the bands the whole time. He just needed to figure out a way to defeat Green Lantern without the hesitation after he uses his power. Because if you remember from the story previously, that's how Green Lantern was able to defeat him. He waited until he used a bunch of his power and then punched him in the face. So Evil Star basically does the same thing over again. He gets Green Lantern's ring and he blows it up. But the concussive force of that would have killed Green Lantern. But again, he uses a human or a being shield.
He uses one of the Guardians. This time, before he used one of the Starlings.
Yeah, now he's using a Guardian.
And
here's what they're immortal.
Here's the thing: they're not invulnerable. They can be killed. They just live a long time until you kill them.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of like messed up and cowardly, to be honest.
Yeah.
But stuff.
Yeah.
Because when Hal was possessed by Parallax, he killed all but like a couple of them.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah.
So he jumps back from behind the table, punches Evil Star. Turns out, not very effective.
Mm-hmm.
So he runs away. Evil Star shoots some needles at him, and he finds finds a what was it called?
Lodestone.
A lodestone, and the metallic needles were attracted to it.
Lodestone is just a magnetic rock,
right.
if I remember correctly.
He then uses a dissolving gas on him. He's fine, and he realizes, he must have another ring hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
And he does a quick scan, finds the ring, blows it up. But in blowing it up, it released energy back into the power battery.
Yeah.
And the central power battery was able to create a force field around Oa.
Yeah.
Which stopped the cosmic rays that powered Evil Star.
Yeah.
It stopped his power, and they kind of just go into an all-out brawl.
And Hal just punches
him up. Yeah. The Guardian gives Hal his ring. They pieced it back together.
Yeah, because they got
his
powers.
Ring back,
also, during the fight with Evil Star just gets there's a tree out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I never seen a tree on Oa before. There's a tree, and Evil Star hits him with a branch.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Green Lantern comes back to Earth, kind of tells the story rehashes the story to Pie-Face.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like this story itself was kind of a rehash of that previous Evil Star story.
Yeah.
But not as cool because it didn't have the Starlings. It wasn't like the debut of this new villain where you had to figure out how he does his stuff.
Right.
He just basically did the same thing with him. But, whatevs.
Our backup story is entitled Saga of the Millionaire Schemer.
Yes, it was written by John Broome, penciled by Gil Kane, and inked by Sid Green.
Oh.
You were telling me some things during your research. What did you learn about John Broome this week? He created the Phantom Stranger.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah. Created the Phantom Stranger. The hard thing about doing research like this is I've been reading up on all these old artists and writers, and so like
some of it's running together.
All of it is it's just a mash of stuff.
That's okay. the repeat
Yeah.
or further reading will like solidify some of that stuff.
But
yeah.
he did a lot of the introduction of the characters into the Silver Age that we know today. So like Green Lantern, he really shaped what the Green Lantern is going to be like for the next.
Oh yeah.
Until now.
I mean,
You
come
know,
on. All of these stories have been written by either John Broome or Gardner Fox.
Right.
Excuse me, Gardner Fox.
I think he did the Atom as well.
I think you're right.
I
I haven't read tons of those.
Right.
We will get to the Atom eventually.
Right. I think he was also responsible for the. No, that might have been Carmen Infantino.
Who? What? Who are you referring to?
It might have been guilty. Kind of the rebranding of Batman.
Carmine Infantino was a big part of that.
Okay.
The new look Batman
Yeah.
was Carmine Infantino with the bat logo with the yellow
The
in
yellow
it.
eclipse, yeah.
And I've read that first story that introduces the new look Batman.
Uh-huh.
It sucks. It's a sucky story.
Really?
Yeah. But I do like Carmine Infantino on Batman. I especially love him on Flash.
I think what they were going for was they were just trying to clean up a lot of the stuff. So
Yeah.
they got rid of Batmite. They got rid of Ace.
The Bat-Hound.
The Bat-Hound.
Yeah. And the original Batwoman and Batgirl, the
Yeah.
Kitty Kane or Kathy Kane
Mhm.
versions. But
Yeah, and I think that was just to clean it up and present it
Yeah.
as a more. They use the word intelligent
sure.
Batman.
Yeah. I have to say, a lot of people are down on the goofy 50s Batman, like going to outer space and smiling all the time. And I have a lot of fun with that stuff. I think because I love the wackiness of Superman. So, I mean, I don't like it as much for
Right.
Silver Age Superman, but I appreciate that stuff.
Right, and so it went from kind of wacky
Yeah.
to really campy.
Yeah, and I don't think
And I think there's a definite difference there.
there is, and I don't think either one of them is the best Batman.
Right.
But it's okay. They're different shades.
But during that time is when comic books weren't thriving.
No,
And-
and Detective Comics almost got canceled.
Right, and so with
They had to do
it kind of debuted alongside the television show with Adam West,
Yeah,
and so it kind of got a resurgence of readers.
definitely a shot in the arm.
Yeah.
There was definitely a boom in 1966 in the industry period, because of the popularity of the Batman show,
Right.
and also a bust. But
Right. So when the show got canceled,
right. Well, and it was just like a lot of publishers who either weren't doing superheroes, or even and some new publishers tried to come in, and just the market couldn't support them.
right.
And the folks controlling the distribution model, DC and Marvel, kind of found ways to keep some of their newer competitors off the racks.
Right.
So, really great new series like the Thunder Agents was an all-new thing. It started in '66. Had kind of spotty distribution. Great series. And other companies did various things. But anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, John Broome.
John Broome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this story is
It's
more
another of
about-
the Hal Jordan brothers,
Yeah.
or the Jack and John, and right?
Jack and Jim.
Jack and Jim Jordan.
Yeah.
Now what starts
and their
out.
Uncle Titus.
Now Uncle Titus looks just like the actor Leo G. Carroll.
I'd have to see him.
He was on. You can Google him, image him on your phone.
Yeah.
But he was on The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was on a show called Topper, which I have not seen. I don't know anything about it. But I knew him from the 50s science fiction movie Tarantula, starring John Agar.
Oh.
And so anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, Uncle Titus looks like Leo G. Carroll.
Okay.
So.
We find out more about Uncle Titus. He was in the first story with the Jordan brothers.
Was he?
Yeah.
He's not the judge, is he? Is it their uncle that's the judge? Is this the same uncle?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I don't remember I don't have that volume because that was like in volume 2
right,
of Showcase, so
it's kind of backwards for me.
it's fine.
But yeah, it's their uncle, and it turns out he's not a likable guy.
Yeah.
He has a pretty bad temper, and he goes to Jim Jordan,
Mhm.
who's married to Sue, who is convinced that he is Green Lantern.
I'm showing Spencer
yes,
the
sir.
Google image. That is Leo G.
That
Carroll.
face right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
So, anyway.
The jowls.
Oh, yeah. A jowly man.
Sue's convinced Jim Jordan is Green Lantern.
Yeah. That's so
and,
funny.
So Titus goes to Jim and says, I need you to improve my public image. And Jim's like, yeah, but you're kind of a jerk. Like, in his mind, he's thinking, you're kind of a jerk. How this is going to be impossible. And he says, remember, later this weekend, the boys, your brothers are coming, and we're going to spend some time at my place, have a barbecue, have a good time. But that's just a ploy to get all of them there. And him and Sue has convinced Titus that Jim is Green Lantern. And so they're going to catch him. And so Jim walks Uncle Titus out, and he's like kind of snapping at his driver. All right, home. I want to be home. Let's go home. Hurry. Fast forward a little bit. Everyone shows up to the manor, or this like mansion, and they're having like a nice dinner. And they kind of send Jim away to do some business on the public image stuff, and Titus breaks down the plan to Jack and Hal about Jim being Green Lantern and how we're going to figure it out. And Titus kind of forces, strong arms Hal into dressing in this costume that he's bought. And Hal is totally confused because the day before, he fights someone dressed in this same uniform. And
the bottler.
Yeah. The bottler. Yeah, he has like bottles on his belt, a bottle symbol on his chest and on his forehead, and bottle like shin guards.
Yeah.
But
it's
what
100% recycled.
One of my favorite things in this issue is it has nothing to do with the plot.
And I realized something. This is 1966.
Yeah.
No recycling.
This 1966, the bottler. This is just kooky Batman TV show type villain.
Okay.
I didn't even think about it. But anyway,
like the fourth panel on this page, there's a little author's note. The panel says, at that very moment, asterisk, a streaking green shape is returning from a successful concluded adventure. What's going on in that building? The asterisk at the bottom, there's a little author's note that says, my author generously allows me...
editor...
Oh, my editors, yeah.
Generously allows me one coincidence per story. Here it is.
Right. And I mentioned to Nick earlier that 90% of Green Lantern's life since he got the ring has been pure coincidence.
Yeah.
And having one per story there's at least one per story.
I'd say there's probably at least one per page.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, if it's a story that someone's making up, of course coincidences are going to happen.
Right.
So you can advance the story like, oh yeah, I didn't even hear about that bank robbery. I was just using the ring to like wash my car, and that's the whole issue. Right. No, of course, coincidence happens constantly.
So, kind of back to the story. Hal stops this the bottler from breaking into a safe, but he throws a bottle of like something. It's knockout gas.
Is it?
And he gets away.
Throws bottles of stuff.
Yeah.
Man, the bottler costume is cool and ridiculous.
Yes.
Cape.
Cosplay.
Cape.
That'd be funny.
He has a bottle on the forehead.
Yeah. So we have the flashback, and then we have Hal getting dressed into the bottler uniform, and he's kind of walking.
Did you
outside.
explain the whole deal about Uncle Titus coming up with the idea of the bottler?
Oh, say it.
Did you explain the whole bit about how Uncle
I
Titus?
didn't.
Because that's kind of like super important plot point. Uncle Titus came up with the idea of the bottler to flush out Green Lantern to prove that Jim or Jack.
Oh right, yeah. I mentioned that.
Oh, you did, okay.
Yeah. And so Hal sneaks out the window, and he's kind of walking around the house, but there's this extra shadow, and there's a bottle in his hand, and
Whoa.
Hal gets knocked out by the real bottler.
What?
Yeah. And so Jim and Sue are outside, and she kind of confronts him again about being Green Lantern, and he calls her out on the whole scheme. He's like, look, I saw Hal climbing out the window. I know what you're trying to do. I'm not Green Lantern. And she refuses to believe him, and so he sees the bottler crawling through the window. She's like, all right, I gotta stop Hal before this. So he kindly taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, all right, I know who you are. You can stop the pretense, Hal. I know what's going on. But then the bottler just clocks him and knocks him out. The bottler sneaks into the window, and Titus has removed his stamp collection out of the safe. And
Stamp.
the bottler
What a
takes
grandma.
it and
Anyway.
ties Titus and Jim or Jack up. And Titus is like, hey, this is going a little too far.
By the way, if you collect stamps or coins, congratulations. You are 100.
Yes. Bottler's thinking to himself, this is so easy, I'm going to get away with it. But into the window flies Green Lantern and just
Breaks all his bottles.
lays him out. The bottler throws a bottle at Green Lantern, and Green Lantern just kind of covers it with a dome.
Yeah.
And it dissipates. And then he conjures a giant bowling ball.
Yeah.
And nails the bottler with it.
I love it.
Um,
And then they unmask the bottler, and it's
the driver.
Williams, the chauffeur,
Yeah.
who Uncle Titus was snippy with earlier in the story.
Yeah. We find out that
That's why.
he was tired of being talked down to and all that stuff. But then we have Sue.
Now you're out of a job and going to jail.
Sue then confronts Jim, who's laying on the bed because he got punched out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know it's you. You think you're so sneaky. He's like, look, man, I'm not Green Lantern.
I think their marriage could be in trouble.
You think so? I think she loves him
There's
too
a lot
much.
of mistrust.
She married him under the false assumption that he is Green Lantern.
I think they'll last. I think they'll make it.
I know they do, but I'm just making a joke.
Spoilers.
Oh.
Shut up, Sean.
Later, Titus is kind of going off on, like, we know you're Green Lantern, we'll figure it out. And he's kind of talking really kind of mean to Jim. And Jim's had enough, and he calls him out on it.
And then Uncle Titus is proud of him for
Yeah,
it.
he's like, James, you're the first one who's ever had the courage to tell me to my face. I'm going to work on turning my bad attitude
My
around.
frown upside down.
Yeah. And so all the boys are out golfing with their uncle, and he hits the ball, and it bounces off a tree, and he's about to go off on the ball, and
Like,
Jim's like,
verbally?
Uncle!
You know,
kinda
cursing.
yeah. And he's like, you're right, James, this is just a game. Come on, let's enjoy ourselves.
This
We
ball
can
is
still
inanimate."
beat Jack and Hal.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends.
Yay.
Yay. That's all I got.
Me too.
Bye.